The land of coffee, Colombia and its coffee culture. Welcome to a fascinating journey through Colombia, the land of coffee and the sea. Colombia, a country of vibrant colors, dazzling landscapes, and a unique history, has much more than you can imagine. From the Andes Mountains to the Caribbean and Pacific coasts, passing through its vast Amazon jungle, this territory is a melting pot of cultures, traditions, and, of course, unmistakable flavors. But did you know that Colombia is one of the most biodiverse countries on the planet? Or that, beyond being famous for its coffee, it has a rich indigenous and African heritage that has shaped its customs and artistic expressions. In this video, you will discover surprising facts, curiosities that will take your breath away, and well-kept secrets about this wonderful country. I invite you to immerse yourself in a world of culture, gastronomy, and nature that will make you see Colombia through different eyes. And to make this experience even more interactive, I want to ask you, which of these natural wonders of Colombia would you like to get to know first, the Caribbean beaches, the mountains of the Eje Cafetero, or the Amazon jungle? Did you know that Colombia is the only country in Latin America with coasts on both oceans? Would you like to know how this influences its culture and gastronomy? Don't forget to leave us your answer in the comments and subscribe to continue exploring more about this amazing country. Get ready to be amazed and discover all that Colombia has to offer. Let's get started. The interesting thing is that different varieties of coffee are grown in Colombia, and the altitude at which the farms are located plays a crucial role in the flavor of the beans. As the altitude rises, the temperature decreases, which allows the beans to mature more slowly, resulting in a smoother and more aromatic coffee. Did you know that Colombian coffee is harvested twice a year? The main harvest takes place between October and December, and the secondary harvest takes place between April and June. Geographical and natural diversity. Colombia is a country that surprises for its enormous geographic diversity. Although it is a relatively small territory, its variety of climates, landscapes, and ecosystems is impressive. Colombia is one of the most biodiverse countries in the world, ranking first in bird diversity with more than 1,900 species. This is more than any other country on the planet, even more than the United States and Canada combined. The Colombian Amazon region is home to a large number of animal and plant species found nowhere else in the world. Apart from the rainforest, Colombia also has paradisiacal beaches, dry forests, deserts, snow-capped mountains, such as Nevado del Ruiz, and even an extensive Caribbean and Pacific coastline. The Caribbean coast, for example, has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, such as those of Santa Marta and Cartagena. The magic of the Caribbean islands. Speaking of coasts, Colombia also stands out for having some spectacular islands in the Caribbean. The Rosario Islands, which are located near Cartagena, are a paradise for diving lovers thanks to their incredible marine biodiversity. But, perhaps the best known internationally is the island of San Andres, which, with its famous Sea of Seven Colors, has become a very popular tourist destination. What many do not know is that San Andres has a fascinating cultural mix, with influences from the Afro-Colombian population, the English, the native Raizales, and the mainland Colombians. The most important cities and their curiosities. Bogotá. The capital of Colombia, Bogotá, is a city of contrasts. At more than 2,600 meters above sea level, Bogotá is the highest capital city in Latin America. Its altitude influences the climate, which is temperate throughout the year. Bogotá is also a place full of history, with a mix of colonial and modern architecture. A curious fact, Plaza Bolívar, located in the historic center, is one of the largest squares in Latin America, and it is said that Colombia's first elections were held there in the 19th century. One of Bogotá's major tourist attractions is the Gold Museum, which houses more than 55,000 pieces of pre-Columbian gold. This museum tells the story of the indigenous civilizations that inhabited what is now Colombia and had a deep relationship with gold. In addition, Bogotá is known for its vibrant gastronomic scene, which ranges from typical dishes such as ajiaco to international haute cuisine restaurants. Medellín. Medellin, known as the City of Eternal Spring due to its mild climate, is another major Colombian city that has undergone a remarkable transformation. In the 1980s and 1990s, Medellin was notorious for its links to drug trafficking and violence, but in recent years it has emerged as an example of urban resilience, thanks to renovation projects and a strong commitment to innovation and culture. The Flower Fair, held every August, is one of the city's most important festivities. During this fair, Medellin fills with color with thousands of flowers that are carried by the soleteras in impressive parades. This event is not only a celebration of nature, but also a tribute to the peasant traditions that have been part of the region's identity. Cartagena. Cartagena is one of Colombia's most emblematic cities, famous for its well-preserved historic center, which is a World Heritage Site. Founded in 1533, Cartagena was an important port during colonial times, and its architecture reflects its rich history. The city walls, which were built to protect the city from pirate attacks, are one of the city's main tourist attractions. In addition to its historic walled city, Cartagena is known for its lively nightlife, gastronomy, and beaches. Every year, Cartagena hosts the International Film Festival, which attracts world film celebrities. A curious fact is that the famous writer Gabriel Garcia Marquez set several of his novels in the city, and many believe that the stories of his 100 Years of Solitude are inspired by Cartagena. Barranquilla Carnival. Another cultural event that stands out in Colombia is the Barranquilla Carnival, held annually in the city of Barranquilla, located in the Caribbean region. This carnival is one of the largest and oldest in Latin America, and has been declared Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity by UNESCO. The Barranquilla Carnival is a party full of music, dances, and color, and is the perfect setting to enjoy the folkloric traditions of the region. The comparsas, which are parades full of elaborate costumes, and the cumbias, are the central elements of this carnival. It is an event that attracts thousands of tourists every year and represents the joy and festive spirit of Colombians. Gastronomy, flavors of the earth. Colombian cuisine is as diverse as its geography, and each region of the country has its own traditional dishes. One of the best known is ajiaco, a thick soup made with potato, chicken, and corn, served especially in Bogotá. In the Caribbean region, rice with coconut and arepas are fundamental, and in Valle del Cauca, sancocho and condiduro are delicious delicacies that reflect the richness of the land. We cannot forget the famous lecona from the Tolima region, a pork dish stuffed with rice, peas, and spices, which is very popular in family celebrations. And in the Pacific region, the seafood casserole is one of the most exquisite and representative dishes of this coastal area. The economy and oil. Colombia is an emerging economy with great natural wealth. The country is an important oil producer, and oil and coal exports are some of the main sources of income. However, coffee continues to be one of the fundamental pillars of the Colombian economy. Coffee is not only important for export, but also for tourism, with increasing numbers of tourists visiting coffee farms to experience the production process. In addition, Colombia has managed to diversify its economy in sectors such as technology, commerce, and manufacturing. Bogotá, Medellin, and Cali are cities that have positioned themselves as poles of innovation and entrepreneurship, and many Colombian startups have achieved international recognition. Folklore and music, rhythms to fall in love with. Colombian music is another of the country's great cultural treasures. Cumbia, vallenato, salsa, and reggaeton are musical genres that have left a mark around the world. Vallenato, originally from the Caribbean region, has been popularized worldwide by artists such as Carlos Vives and Juanes. In fact, vallenato is so representative of Colombian culture that in 2015 UNESCO declared it Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Another genre that has conquered the world is salsa, especially in cities like Cali, known as the salsa capital of the world. Every year, thousands of dancers and tourists gather in the city to enjoy the World Salsa Festival, an event that celebrates one of the Cali people's greatest pride, their passion for dance and music. Colombia is a country with a rich history and an impressive cultural heritage, encompassing traditions, legends, artistic expressions, customs, and very unique elements. Here I bring you more facts and curiosities that delve into the country's cultural richness, as well as other fascinating aspects of its identity. Pre-Hispanic heritage and the gold of the Indians. Before the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors, Colombia was inhabited by several indigenous civilizations, each with its own language, customs, and beliefs. Among the most prominent were the Muiscas, who inhabited the central area of what is now Bogotá and its surroundings, and the Taironas, who lived in the region of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. The Gold Museum in Bogotá holds one of the most impressive collections of pre-Columbian art, with thousands of pieces of gold and other materials used by indigenous peoples for religious ceremonies, offerings, and ornaments. One of Colombia's most famous myths has to do with the Muiscas and their ritual related to gold, El Dorado. It is believed that at the beginning of each new dynasty, the Muisca chief covered himself with gold dust and immersed himself in Lake Guatavita, which inspired the famous legend of the Golden Man sought by the conquistadors. African influence in Colombia. Colombia has a very significant African heritage, particularly in the Pacific region, where the Afro-Colombian population has played a crucial role in the development of music, dance, and popular culture. African slavery left a legacy that is manifested in traditions such as cumbia and mapal, which are musical genres and dances that originated in the mixture of African, indigenous, and Spanish rhythms. Fish stew and empanadas stuffed with fish or meat are also African-influenced dishes, as is the use of mangroves in cooking. In the Colombian Pacific, for example, the tradition of the curaleo dance has deep African roots. In addition, festivities and celebrations such as the Feast of the Virgin of Candelaria in the municipality of La Tola and the Petronio Alvarez Pacific Music Festival in Cali celebrate the cultural diversity of Colombia's Afro-descendant communities. Colombian literature, a world literary legacy. Colombia is a nation with a great literary tradition that has produced world-renowned writers. The most prominent, of course, is Gabriel García Márquez, winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1982. His most famous work, 100 Years of Solitude, has been translated into dozens of languages and is considered one of the most important novels in world literature. But Colombian literature is not limited to García Márquez. Other notable Colombian writers include Jorge Luis Borges, Alvaro Mutis, Mario Mendoza, and Laura Restrepo, who have explored themes ranging from magical realism to the country's social and political conflicts. Poetry also has a central place in Colombian culture, with authors such as José Asunción Silva, whose work remains one of the most significant in modernist literature. Traditional festivals and celebrations. Colombia is a country of festivals, celebrations, and traditions that are lived with great enthusiasm and passion. Each region has its own festivities, but some are of national importance. The Cali Fair, December considered the most important salsa festival in the world, the Cali Fair brings together thousands of tourists and locals to enjoy parades, concerts, and salsa competitions. The salsomanas and salsomanos gather in the streets of the city to dance to the rhythm of the music, and the event culminates with the famous Salsomanos Parade. Holy Week in Popayan. Popayan, known as the White City, is famous for its Holy Week celebration, considered one of the most important in Colombia due to the religious devotion of its people. The processions, which date back more than 450 years, go through the cobblestone streets of the city, accompanied by sacred music and a solemnity that attracts thousands of pilgrims. The Carnival of Blacks and Whites, January, Pasto. This carnival, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, takes place in the city of Pasto, in the south of the country, and is a mixture of indigenous, African, and Spanish tradition. During the days of festivities, people dress in colorful clothes, paint their faces black and white, and participate in parades that symbolize the country's integration and racial diversity. The Vallenato Festival, April, Valledupar. The Festival de la Leyenda Vallenata is one of the country's most emblematic events. Vallenata music, which originated in the Caribbean region, is celebrated with contests for accordionists and musicians who showcase their traditional vallenato skills. The festival also includes dances, parades, and a large popular festival. Colonial architecture and the villages of Colombia. Colombia's towns, especially those located in the interior, are a reflection of the Spanish colonial heritage. Some of the most beautiful are Villa de Leyva, and Boyaca, Baricara, and Santander, and Salento, and Quindio. These places, with their cobblestone streets, colorful houses, and flowery balconies, have been declared National Heritage Sites due to their preservation and historical value. Villa de Leyva is famous for its Plaza Mayor, one of the largest in Latin America, dating from the 16th century. In Baricara, there are stone buildings that seem to have been frozen in time, and in Salento, the typical architecture of the coffee region stands out with the use of wood and colorful facades. These towns, in addition to being a tourist attraction, keep alive many of the customs of their ancestors, such as the handcrafted elaboration of vuelchios hats and the manufacture of wooden furniture. Science and education, innovation in Colombia. Colombia, in addition to its cultural richness, has also excelled in the field of science and education. The country has several prestigious universities, such as the Universidad de los Andes and the Universidad Nacional, which are internationally recognized for their educational quality and research. In recent years, Colombia has seen a boom in the field of technological innovation, with cities such as Medellin and Bogotá positioning themselves as centers of entrepreneurship. One of the most notable advances is the Coffee Research and Technology Center in the city of Manizales, which has been crucial in improving the quality of Colombian coffee and facing the challenges of climate change in plantations. Important advances have also been made in the pharmaceutical industry and biotechnology, with Colombian researchers winning international awards for their contributions in the area of health. The influence of nature on culture. In Colombia, nature has a direct influence on the daily lives of its inhabitants. For example, the indigenous communities of the Colombian Amazon, such as the Tucano and the Huitoto, have developed a deep knowledge of the flora and fauna of the rainforest, which has allowed them to develop medicinal and spiritual practices based on medicinal plants and rituals. In addition, the coffee tree has a strong relationship with the cultural identity of the country. It is not only an economic crop, but also a symbol of the connection of Colombians with their land. In many regions, coffee is an integral part of daily life, from the coffee farms to the homes of the big cities, where a cup of coffee is not only a drink, but a social ritual that unites friends and family. Colombia is, without a doubt, a country full of history, culture, and a diversity as rich as its people, from its breathtaking landscapes to its traditions that have survived centuries. This corner of Latin America continues to amaze the world with its magic. If you've been amazed by what you've just discovered, we hope we've opened a window to a world of wonders yet to be explored. If you want to continue learning more about Colombia and other fascinating destinations, don't forget to subscribe to the World and Evolution channel so you don't miss our next videos full of interesting facts and curiosities that will expand your knowledge of the world. Also, if you are interested in learning more about how to achieve your goals and become a true self-starter in any area, we invite you to visit our website selfmatamillionaires.online, where you will find valuable resources and strategies that will help you improve your personal and professional life. We would love for you to join our community, and together we will continue to evolve. See you soon, and keep exploring the world with us.